Recently in the One Piece manga, we got the crazy powers of the Gorosei, and they were named for us. The spider-looking Saturn was a Gyuki, Mars was the Itsumade, aka an eerie reptilian bird yokai, Mercury was the Houki, aka boar, Nusjuro was the Bakotsu, aka skeleton horse, and Peter the sandworm from Dune. But interestingly enough, they weren't presented as devil fruits. No model this or no me that. This is likely because they don't have devil fruits, as we're going to get into, but were rather granted devil fruit-like powers, aka demon-like powers, by their leader and the devil fruit user Imu-sama, the big bad final villain of One Piece, the one Luffy is eventually going to have to take down. We'll be breaking down Imu's exact devil fruit powers and the fruit's name in this video, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy seeing One Piece videos like this one and want to keep them coming. And now, shout out to today's sponsor, AFK Journey, now available on iOS, Google Store, and on the AFK Journey official website for PC, and it's free to play. This RPG presents some innovative new features to the RPG genre, making it not just an idle game, but an ethereal fantasy RPG game with distinctive visuals, intricate gameplay mechanics, and an added dimension with its PC-compatible side-scrolling elements. Something that stood out to me big time was the visuals, but also the feel-good vibe and atmosphere of the world. Wrapped into the 3D canvas art world of AFK Journey, everything breathes with life. You can feel the wonder and magic as you embark on a fantasy quest as Merlin, gathering heroes across 6 factions and formulating winning tactics with different teams. The characters are amazing as you get to reunite with AFK Arena's beloved characters, but also discover new ones, and yes, most importantly, there are many waifus like Vala, a cross between a Jane Austen character and Batman. And you get worlds of wonder as you explore the diverse big maps, solving fun puzzles, and meeting interesting NPCs with effortless one-handed gameplay. Yes, the game stays true to the AFK in the name, and beyond just the familiar resonance of AFK Arena's heroes, AFK Journey added equipment resonance. Your resources grow while you sleep and eat. For AFK Journey's official release, they will give 40 heroes for free. Plus, through gradual distribution and by engaging in events with a 7-day login, players can receive 200 plus free pulls. So what are you waiting for? Download AFK Journey both on PC and mobile for free right now and get 40 plus heroes for free. Don't forget to use promo code AFKJourney88 to redeem a lot of giveaways. And now, without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. So let's start with when we actually saw Imu's devil fruit at work, because we already have. During chapter 1085, we saw Imu sitting upon the throne that was supposed to be empty, since, and I quote, "It is not meant for one person's will to sway the entire world," end quote. Cobra is told that the moment he saw the great Imu, his fate was sealed. Remember this because it will come up later. Imu attacks with a black arrow that, as many have pointed out already in the community, could be a tail shaped like an arrow. The tail stabs Cobra, and then Flame Emperor Sabo jumps in. Sabo attacks with his fire powers, but no one is hurt. The Gorosei are hidden in shadow, but have taken their yokai forms. Sabo says, "To think there was such a diabolical truth at the pinnacle of the world." Keep that in mind for later too, as we'll come back to it. We see Sabo running from these forms, and Imu is depicted as just a pair of eyes surrounded by darkness behind them. After Sabo escapes, we next see Imu deciding to launch the Mother Flame on Lulusia, the insane weapon that just wipes an entire island from existence. But anyways, back to the Elders. Another reason I believe that the Elders don't have actual Devil Fruit powers is that they have this bond that other Devil Fruit users don't. For one, they can communicate telepathically, even from wide distances. Then there's the fact that their demonic forms emerge from fiery demonic circles, and one can summon the others as well using these fiery demonic circles, which is how Saturn was able to summon all the Elders to Egghead when he needed them. We've definitely never seen anything like this connection, despite having seen so many different Devil Fruit powers. Notably, Nusjuro's skeleton horse yokai is also based off of a horse that burned to death in a fire. So we see already that the imagery that surrounds Imu and the Gorosei is very specific, if not repetitive. Imu is the shadowy underground king, or said in a different way, the Prince of Darkness, which was Milton's name for the actual devil in Paradise Lost. Imu and the Gorosei are associated with fire and flames constantly, as is Hell, the home of the devil, so it makes sense that Sabo's fire attack would have no effect on them. But to be fair, fire attacks usually do not do as much damage as they should in anime. That's pretty obvious. A quick Google search though of Ned Flanders as the devil in The Simpsons will reveal to you that the devil is often depicted as having an arrow-shaped tail. which obviously goes back to that crazy arrow that stabbed Cobra. And obviously, the Prince of Darkness also has demonic minions, and that relates to the Gorosei and their demonic forms. I believe part of this devil fruit power is the ability to turn others into demons or grant them demonic powers, which is why they were not stated to have devil fruits. I'd bet though that like with vampires needing to be invited in, and the god villain in One Punch Man, it's a sort of deal with the devil situation. Imu can't grant anyone his powers or turn anyone into his demonic minion, only those that willingly agree to such a thing. The Gorosei in this situation then have clearly agreed to become Imu's minions and have thus been granted powers and even immortality by Imu. And this theory becomes even more believable and plausible when we think about who better to fight against Sun God Nika than the Prince of Darkness. One represents light and the other darkness. Ironically, the light is an outlaw pirate and the darkness is the secret leader of the world government. And you gotta admit, that kind of irony is classic One Piece, and it definitely seems like something Oda would do. Akuma specifically is the Japanese word for the devil, and so the name will likely be something like the mythical zone human fruit model Akuma. In Japanese mythology, Akuma is typically depicted with a fiery head and flaming eyes. Again, we see that focus on fire and flames. And I mentioned how Sabo in Imu's presence used the word diabolical, which is defined as extremely evil or cruel and expressive of cruelty or befitting hell. Synonyms include hellish or satanic. So I don't think the use of that word was accidental either. In Japanese mythology, the Akuma is also said to be a harbinger of misfortune to those who see it. And what was Cobra told? His fate was sealed when he saw Imu-sama. Sabo also told Dragon and Ivankov that even knowing what he knows about Imu is enough to get one killed. So you can't just go around telling everybody. So the parallels seem clear enough to those looking for them. The devil fruit power would not only fit what we've seen so far in the story, it would also be a very fitting, insanely powerful fruit for what is pretty much the main final villain of the world of One Piece. And just a heads up that I'm about to mention some stuff from Solo Leveling that is surprisingly very relevant to this video and to Imu's powers. So if you want to avoid all Solo Leveling spoilers, then skip to the timestamp shown on screen right now. I'll give you some time. 3, 2, 1, and we're back. As someone who recently finished Solo Leveling and got acquainted with the Shadow Monarch, another synonym for the Prince of Darkness by the way, and his powers, I can also say that Imu's powers seem very similar. In that series, the Shadow Monarch has the power of death at his disposal. This manifests as the monarch being immortal himself, but he can also make his shadow soldiers immortal too. No matter what injuries they have suffered so far, they just regenerate like nothing happened. Even the way they are summoned is very similar to the way that the Shadow Monarch summons his shadow soldiers. So like with Solo Leveling, it might be impossible to stop the Gorosei, aka the Five Elders, for good without stopping their leader Imu, the likely source of their demonic and immortal powers. Although the Shadow Monarch is arguably a good guy in Solo Leveling and Imu is clearly a bad person in One Piece, it is nonetheless possible that Oda and the author of Solo Leveling drew on similar myths and legends, and thus it wouldn't be surprising that the powers of these two very different Shadow Monarchs overlap so much. But let me know your thoughts about all of this. Do you agree that Imu has this fallen angel Prince of Darkness devil fruit, or do you believe it's something else? If you do think it's something else, then please let me know why you think that in the comments. This is one of the biggest mysteries in One Piece, and I'd love to get more perspective on it. But you gotta admit, in a world where devil fruits are a thing, and we've seen so many devil fruits so far, you know it would be crazy hype if someone appeared with the devil fruit, if you see what I mean. It definitely sounds like the big bad boss of all devil fruits, and something like that would definitely be fitting for the big bad boss of One Piece. If you enjoyed this one, then you won't want to miss my video on Luffy's other big nemesis, Blackbeard, who is, by the way, also associated with Darkness, and his crew, link on screen right now. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.